What's going on, everybody? Got a package in from, of course, Bulk Reef Supply, so I figured, you know what? I don't know if I've ever done an unboxing video. Now's as good a time as any. And of course, you know, the struggles that we all face recording with one hand and trying to open the box with another hand. But this is something, well, I had an Amazon order come in too, so I got some Prime from Amazon. But in the Bulk Reef Supply box, there's some stuff that I've needed for quite some time. So first off is I got some Frag Cutters, or they're the large size on there. Basically, what I'm going to do whenever I buy corals, I'm going to cut them away from the discs and either glue them to rocks, uh, little rock pieces, or glue them to my rocks, one of the two. But I got some airline. I got the Tom's Aqua Lifter, and you can probably guess what's coming up next. I got the Jbj Auto Top Off. I went this route because with the sump that I'm using, the return chamber's in the back and it's a pain to get to. I really either wanted the Tunzi or the Smart Micro Auto Top Off, and the Micro is a brand new Auto Top Off. It's $99.99 for, and it comes with everything that you need. But the problem for me is the fact that it uses magnets for the sensor, and with my return chamber being super difficult to get to, I didn't want to mess with the magnets, so I got this auto top off system. And the like I said, the main reason being is because the sensors are mounted to the brackets, and I'll be able to adjust that if I need to. A lot of people use these pumps with the Jbj Auto Top Off. This Jbj Auto Top Off is I think it's a recommended ATO from Bulk Reef Supply, and I do a decent amount of business with them. If I order anything reef related, typically it comes from Bulk Reef Supply if I'm not buying it used from somebody else. And apparently people have really good they've had really good experiences out of this aqua lifter. I think you can buy, or I know you can buy, dosing pumps and run those in place of the auto top off, but they're quite a bit more expensive. This aqua lifter's $18-19 on Bulk Reef Supply. I think you could save a few dollars if you get it off of Amazon, but I'd already hit the free shipping threshold, so I just went ahead and got it from Bulk Reef Supply. And another thing to note is I believe inside the case of this, it has a timer where you can turn on and off the pump. So of course you have mode A, mode B, and you can configure mode B in a couple different ways, whatever. But if you take the back cover off, there is a dial on there where you can turn maximize and minimize the time that the pump runs. But also what a lot of people do is they run the pump or the auto top off on a timer. So this is another Amazon order. Shout out to 915 Maine. He left a comment because I mentioned at one point I was going to buy the bucket of salt the next time, but I ended up getting the box, and I picked this up from Amazon, and it went up. It was like $4 or $5 more expensive this time versus last time. But this is the salt that I've used. You know, I don't have any livestock or anything, but I've been doing water changes. So over the course of 3 months, a couple big water changes. Salt doesn't last very long. And I really like it. And you know, it's $55, I think, for there's 4 good sized bags of salt inside this box, and it'll do 200 gallons. The bucket, it will do 160 gallons, and it's usually like 10 or 12, maybe $15 more expensive to get the bucket. So what 915 Main suggested was to get the lid for the bucket. And I've seen these before. I saw them in Menards. And I didn't get it or whatever. I'd kind of forgot about it, to be honest with you. And he left a comment and said, "Get this lid. It works really well." Of course, you can see here I'm having a difficult time unscrewing it while I'm holding the camera. So you know, my video editing skills here lacking since I decided to set the camera down. I didn't cut that footage out, but you know, it is what it is. But the lid seems to be working perfect. I keep the salt out in my garage, and it's not a temperature controlled garage, so it's cold out there. I'm not getting any clumps or anything. But the one thing to note is once you snap this ring on this bucket, I used a rubber mallet, it's on there. You're not getting it off of there. you may be able to get it off of there. I'm not going to challenge anybody to, but I'm not going to try it. It's on there really snug. It's going to do what I need. Of course, you can see here on the lid, it's got the gasket in there to keep it sealed. Um, but it's a really nice pickup. I think this was $12, $13 on Amazon. We do a lot of shopping on Amazon anyway, so um, that's usually my go-to place whenever I need something, especially as far as reviews are concerned. I go on Amazon. But it's a really nice lid. I decided to get black so I can have a Halloween bucket. I think Menards has the white ones. So I got the auto top off hooked up. Um, I don't know where I'm going to mount the unit when I'm done with it. I did end up moving that line over just a little bit so I could see it a little bit better. Um, but once again, you can see my struggle here where I cannot see the switch, or excuse me, the sensor that will engage the pump. So that's my biggest complaint, not with this auto top off, but with this sump. Um, and I've spent enough money here already. I don't know what else to do as far as my sump's concerned. I could change it again and maybe use a 10-gallon and have to modify the stand or whatever. So I don't know. I think I'll deal with it. But the one thing that I am sick and tired of doing is dumping RO water in there myself. So for now, I'm going to use this 5-gallon jug, and I just have my tubing dropped in there. So I'll probably have to tie something to it, a piece of live rock or something to it, and drop it down there so I know it stays at the bottom. And then here, what I'm trying to show you is there is some, I guess this is algae growing on my rock, which is part of the cycle, and I don't run my lights at all. And I just happened to notice this the other day that this was growing on my rock. And it's easier to see on these front pieces. On the pieces back there in the background, it's harder to see. But I think I try to zoom in on a small piece. I guess that's what this is. It's algae. It's some form of life. Um, so I guess the good news is maybe I'll be able to get some inhabitants pretty soon. And I'll need a cleanup crew to get rid of this stuff before too long. And if you're running your lights during this time, I'm sure that this would have spread rapidly. But I am not running any lights through the cycle whatsoever. So that's my current salinity. And I did a water test, so my ammonia is at 0. It looked kind of weird or whatever, but that is 0. My nitrites are at 0.1, and nitrates are at like, I don't know, 5, 2, 5, something like that. So a couple large water changes later, my nitrites never had a chance to spike, but I'm pretty sure it's fully cycled. I also picked up these Velcro strips. It's pretty cool. There's 100 of them, and they stretch out to about 8 inches or whatever. If you've ever worked in a server room or whatever, you know what these things are. These things are a lifesaver. Zip ties are just a pain in the butt 'cause you have to cut them off. But I desperately need to do some wire management. I did get all of my stuff labeled, and you can see here that I got one of the wire ties on there, whatever. So stay tuned. Hopefully next time I have my cables managed a little bit better, and hopefully I have something alive in here. Appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you next week.